All right, we're in the live room. This is awesome. At World Music Nashville, and I've got the legendary Dax Penick right here, my co-host, my cohort.
Hello, hello.
And I got Will Herring from Secret Hollow.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. And I got the legend, the great Jason Herndon. Yeah, dog.
Hello.
What's up, dude? This is gonna be fun.
I owe you $20. Thanks.
For what?
For that introduction.
So what have you been up to, dude?
Man,
Tell us about what you've been up to.
what have I been doing?
Let me just preface this. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody about this. I grew up kind of close to you.
Yeah.
But you were a legend, like when I was coming up in Alabama, like everybody knew the Jason Herndon band.
I think that people came to my show to see like how many songs I would do before I passed out drunk.
You think?
No.
You were a legend, man. You still are a legend.
Oh Lord.
Down there.
I've learned a lot of what not to do.
Jesus.
I'm still honing my skills.
So, but you're writing songs still?
I'm writing a bunch of songs.
Awesome.
I'm working on a new record. I'm heading to London in January to do a few shows.
That's awesome. And that's that with the publishing company and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit later because I want these guys to pop in on the songwriting. Me and
Sure.
Jason have done some co-write sessions together.
Yeah, man.
Interested to hear their take on how they do it and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. Like, we always had that debate, like, what do you write first and how do you write and all those kinds of
Yeah.
things. I always find that pretty interesting.
Yeah, everybody does it different. you
Yeah.
know. There's no secret formula to it. If there was a secret formula, everybody
There's
be doing
a
it
thing
that way.
online. No, there's a thing online you can buy, and it teaches you how to write songs. It's
Really?
It's like
It's an
$9.99 a
app?
month. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
just it tells you exactly how to do it. It's real easy.
Is it like one of those Mad Lib things?
Oh, you
Yes.
gotta be kidding me! Wow,
Yes.
Hank, we gotta start writing some songs, bro.
You got the name, Hank.
So,
I know, everyone tells me that.
well, cool. And right now you're doing some other stuff.
Yeah, I'm traveling a little bit. I'm working.
I know you got
I'm
your
working for Martin Guitars.
right.
So I've been traveling around the southeast
Yeah.
with my buddy Jay Meyer, and we're just doing like restring events at different
Great dude, by the way.
stores. Yeah, a great guy. And we're having a lot of fun, and just like Martin has some new guitar strings, and we are promoting them.
And
We're
doing
putting,
like-
basically putting on any guitar. So if you walk into the store that I'm at, and you bring your guitar, I'll restring it for free right in front of you. You know, it takes however long it takes, 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Damn, that's good.
I did an 8-hour shift at some store, I don't know, Ciderville, Tennessee.
You get a lot of people coming out.
40. I did 40 guitars. that
Wow.
day. So I'm just.
I think we do 40 here in a day.
It was a lot, yeah, but I got to hear a lot of interesting stories
I bet.
about where they got their Martin from, and I think about 90% of the guitars were Martins in the rest were. But I mean,
Were they
don't
all
care.
old?
Man, I played a 1940s D18 and a couple of D41s. These people got some incredible guitars
That's amazing.
and great stories.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Speaking of that, we're going to get into strings and picks because I got to ask you guys. One thing I noticed about working here at the store and just being in music retail the last 2 years, kind of, there's so many different strings, and I don't even know where to begin. So I got to pose this question to you players. What do you look for in a string? Where do you go, Dax? You're a
guess
discerning player. You can.
Electric, I use NYXL or Elixir. And then acoustic, I almost always use Elixir just because I have clammy hands.
We're going to get in the coded versus non-coded, I already see.
If I didn't have clammy hands, I would just use normal strings.
Really?
But I have very corrosive guitar.
I hear
eating
that.
I do too.
sweat. Yeah.
I mean, I used to, when I used to play
What's wrong with
all
me
the
now?
time, I would do like a 3-set night,
Yeah.
and after the second set, I would change my strings
Wow.
because there was nothing left. And
Wow.
and it's nothing against any brand, every brand, any brand.
Right.
I just probably don't eat right or something,
Yeah.
and my pH is terrible.
Well, one thing I noticed, like I said, working in the retail part here in the last couple of years, like when I was coming up, I mean, there wasn't that many. I mean, the choices are just like unbelievable now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like strings is kind of like toilet paper.
Oh.
You just kind of use what you've always used. You know what I mean? Or
guess.
like paper like you just.
Well,
It's hard to change, is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
once you play that one, and maybe it's what your guitar instructor used, or what somebody that you looked up to, that's what they used. Like I used to boil my strings when they got old because I heard Eddie Van Halen did that. Like I would do anything that I heard that anyone did. Like you cut the speaker cone so you can sound like Hendrix.
Yeah.
Just doing all those things. So I think
these are urban legends, probably.
yeah, probably. But then, like I'm just saying, like once you start on a string, it's hard to change because
I get
me and you, we grew up in an era like there was no coated guitar strings. What the heck is that?
I mean.
So it's hard for me to use coated guitar strings because it just doesn't feel like home. You know what I mean?
What about you?
I like coated strings.
And he likes coated mandolin strings.
Did it take you a minute to change over?
Oh.
Or was it just a thing you just wanted them to last longer, so it was worth it?
Well, now poly, no. The Elixir poly,
they're too
that's
thick.
too much.
You're a nano guy.
Nano, I have no problems with. Though.
Right.
The NYXL, I guess they're more treated than coated.
Well, I will say, in the 2 years, I did change electric strings to the NYXLs, and that's because of Brian.
That's a
told me
good
that.
point, though. Coated versus treated.
yeah.
They're two different.
NYXL just feel like normal strings, right?
Because the licks are those polys, they got fuzzy when they got old.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It
they
starts
were, 'cause they
stripping
were
off.
coated, yeah.
I hear rain. I hope it's still rain,
Yeah, not
ice. What about mandolin coated strings? Are you still playing mandolin coated strings?
I was trying the XTs for a while, and I was just breaking them, which is not something.
What are you playing now?
I went back to the 13s, or the .01 13s for mandolin.
Is it the Diodario coated ones? But you were doing the Elixir, right?
I was playing the Elixirs for a minute on mandolin. I think we have the 8020s here.
And then we just ran out of them or something and just switched.
And I just prefer the phosphors to 8020s on
Yeah.
everything anyways. So I was mostly using the EXPs, and then I was breaking the XTs, which was a thicker gauge than the EXPs I was using, and that was weird. So now I'm back to the EXPs, and again, here's my fingers now. Like, I'm all messed up. I have to use coated strings.
Jeez.
And yeah, I've played 2 shows with the strings that are on it now, and I haven't broken one.
Nice. How was the gig this weekend?
It was good. It was
Fantastic. Where'd you guys play?
good. The Sweetwater Brewery in Atlanta.
Oh, cool.
That's really cool.
It was a good gig.
Nice.
Really cool. That's my favorite beer. So aside from playing a show, I just like going there.
Nice. That's awesome. But we probably sell strings more than anything. Would you guys say that?
Definitely.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so. And would you say there's a particular string that we sell more of than anything?
Probably Ernie Ball 10s,
Really?
maybe.
Yeah. I always think Elixir
Yeah, we do
for
sell
acoustics,
a lot
I
of
guess,
Elixirs.
but that's electric. I don't know. What do you think, Will?
I always push the elixirs, and if they don't know what they want, then it's like always push the light Diodarios or the bulk ones that we have. But if they don't know what they want, I always go for it. You
And
should try elixirs.
By the way, I think we have a great price for the elixirs because we've had people come in the store and say they can't believe how cheap our elixirs are because there's some stores evidently selling them above the $20 range for a set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. isn't that
No
weird?
way.
That's ridiculous.
We've had people say that, have we not?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I won't name names right now.
I've been using those. I've been using the Martin treated ones, and they're definitely growing on me.
Well, the
Are
Martin
those the
Martin string.
lifespan?
yeah. I
So
like
the
'em.
Martin treated is the lifespan. What's the
Yeah.
SP then? He don't know.
No, I mean, there's not one that specifically says SP.
I thought there was a.
I
am
thought we had a SP.
They've changed.
I might be imagining that.
Well, they've
dude.
changed a lot.
They got the
Okay.
Flex
Has a
Core
lot of
XPs.
strings.
They've changed a lot because they have those retro ones that are really cool too. And
I
what
like
I was gonna
those.
say, like, for some reason, I have different guitars that I like to put different strings on,
Sure.
which is kind of weird. I mean, I don't just put like the same string on every single guitar I have.
Yeah.
Like, I like those Martin retros,
For that little guitar you have, that's
like
pretty
that
cool.
little guitar, or
Yeah.
like any kind of little just mahogany guitar, like
Yeah.
a subtle little guitar.
Yeah.
They work good in recording world.
Are those made
They're
of
quiet.
Manel? What makes them retro?
Oh, they're
They're
just
nickel,
like
aren't
the
they?
they're nickel, so they're like the way. So the story is that I've gotten is that back in the day you didn't have those options.
Did they not have
they didn't have
bronze
phosphor
acoustic
bronze
strings?
acoustic strings. You just had strings, and they were those silver strings, and they were on everything, and that's what people play. So it's got a real, and not in a negative way, but they're a little more dull,
Sure.
and you don't have to like roll off all those highs like when you record. So they record well. That's what I like to use. So the guitar I record with most, I would put retros on, and then I would go phosphor bronze if I
So
would
are
want
those
to be
comparable to like Diodario's nickel bronze? You ever tried
in
those?
the brown pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I would definitely compare those two.
Hmm.
I've never
Same
tried those.
idea. Same vibe.
I've never tried the Martins, but I've tried the nickel bronze Diodario, and I do like those a lot on certain guitars.
What about the gauge? Because I've changed in the past 2 years on gauges. On acoustics, I've been going light.
I'm 13.
I'm 11.
I'm mediums.
I love it, man.
I can be 11, sometimes at 12.
I used to think that would be blasphemy.
Well, I went down to 9s on electric. I'm kind of up to 9.5s. But for like 20 years, I played 11 to 49. And then I just went down to 9s.
Why
Probably
do
when
you-
I started working here.
Why do you, well, I was going to add, the only reason I use 13s is because of how stiff they are.
Yeah.
It's not that I want bigger strings or I'm trying to be some kind of man, but I like that when I pluck them, they don't go
There's
away.
no give.
If you really hit a 11 hard, it goes away. I mean, you can't play it.
Yeah,
Not that I'm
it's
trying to play
different.
as fast as humanly possible, but it gives me more of that feel. Like when you capo the guitar like on the 5th fret and the strings are real tight.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
being
what-
a mandolin player, you probably like that on guitar too, because it kind of. I love a tight string that has very little rebound. It just doesn't move when I hit it.
That's Mando for sure.
Yeah.
I was playing bass for a while, and then when I would pick up my guitar, I thought the same thing. I'd hit the string, and it would I like to play that fast metal kind of stuff, so I couldn't do that as much because I was playing bass, and I started playing thicker strings. I think medium elixirs on my electric guitar, and I think that's what I've still got on there now. I think those are 12s. I think.
Yeah. That's pretty big for an electric guitar.
What do you play on electric, Jason? What gauge?
Well, forever
been
I was
doing 11.
I was a Gretsch Electric 12, Telly 11, Strat 10, but now I'm just doing 10s across the board.
What kind of picks?
I feel like I got nothing. I don't know why I was trying to play 12s and 11s. It's kind of counterintuitive, really. I just started using these.
Is that a blue chip?
Flows.
No, it's a Flow. It's a Dunlop Flow, the blue one, whatever gauge that is. I can't read that.
There's one.
One.
Yeah.
And then I like the black ones too. The edges are kind of rounded off. I think that's like a 1.6. But the flow, the shape of the pick, for some reason, makes my strike more accurate. And I texted Joey about these picks and said, man, what's the deal with these picks? And he, without even prompting him, he goes, you can play better with them, can't you? And I'm like, yeah. He goes like, me too. So, but I've given them to some people, and they're like, it's just a pick. For me personally, it's the best pick I've ever
It's
used.
endlessly fascinating to me to watch people come in and pick out picks.
It's
Mhm.
weird. I mean, it's like it's too splitting hairs to really get into, man. But I mean,
When you're in the store, I know Dax. I hate dealing with people with the picks, and that's one reason why we put those out there, the displays out there, where they can just come pick out their own picks.
Absolutely. It was maddening.
It was just you would want to go stick your head in a blender.
yeah.
But
yeah.
now
I mean,
we
it was-
got them. We got them out. It's much easier.
So yeah, for the record, like I guess it's good to figure out what you want before you get in the store. Right?
Are you using the blue chips,
Yeah, I use the blue chips for the
which are like
mandolin.
$20 a piece?
35?
35.
Wow!
Can you tell a difference?
Holy moly!
I think if you just pick one up and you just play with it, and maybe you're even an experienced guitar player and you just pick one up and you use it, I don't think you'll notice a difference right off the bat. But if you play on if you use it for a while and then you go back to just a .88 Dunlop or something like that, then I think you would definitely notice a difference in the lack of pick click or whatever you want to call it. I think it takes away from that. But
There's less pick sound with the blue chip.
I think there's less pick sound. I think it rolls off the string a little bit better. So for flat picking, like it's less noisy.
That
yeah,
makes
I think
sense.
That makes sense.
I think it's a richer tone. I mean, again, like that's kind of like really splitting hairs, but I think that the pick sounds good.
Right.
Somehow, however that works.
I think there's and it doesn't wear.
Right.
I would think that if I was using a different pick on my mandolin right now, for how long I've been using that same blue chip, I would definitely had to get a different pick. And
Do you think that the blue chip material is emulating the tortoise shell? I mean, is that what the deal is? Is that what
I think that's what
they're
the deal
going
is.
for?
I believe so.
Hmm.
Alex, though, in Stickered Hollow, he swears by the flows. When he doesn't have his
Oh, well.
blue chip, the flow is the one to go to.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
I don't know if I have a certain pick yet. I've been playing V picks.
Oh, they're made out of plexiglass, literally, right?
Is that what they're made out of? Vinny's told me the whole
Something
story.
like
and
that, yeah.
I just like them, and
I mean,
like
it's a
Vinny.
special kind, yeah.
I think it's a water-based polymer.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Is
something
that
like
right?
that. It's not just as simple as
Right.
So you can't get a Lowe's.
It's
and
a
you get you one of
polymer
those
with a
things and-
techno something another in it.
Which
That's
one do you
fine.
like, Chris?
The traditional light.
I use the 1980.
I like
Yeah.
that one too.
I just like. I mean, other reason I'll be using them because Vinny gave me a bag for free, which is a lot. Those things are $4 a piece.
That's a hell of an
he probably
endorsement.
like got $50 worth of picks in there. But I love Vinny and I like the V picks. So we're doing a lot of store promotion in this podcast.
Isn't he
I
making
know.
some guitars out of the same material? Or is that...
I don't know.
I think he made a guitar
Maybe.
body out of that material.
I'm not sure.
He does really good with that thing, man, and it's a cool story. He's just a cool dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like
Once I got used to a 1980 and started playing with it, it's crazy. It does make a difference.
It does,
And
yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think the material kind of feels like the back of a CD, like
Yeah,
a
it's-
shiny part of a CD.
If it gets hot, you can feel it grip. You can feel the grip better.
Right.
The more you use it, it's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just plexiglass.
I always wonder with strings and picks and accessories, if you will, like how much of it do you guys think is the mojo of it?
I mean, that's the
Just it
golly.
creeps in your mind and it makes you want to play. If it
Absolutely.
makes you want to play more, then it's good. I don't care if it's the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean?
At the
If
same
it
time,
makes you practice and play.
I
it's
think
good.
it all matters and none of it matters
Yes,
somehow at the
exactly.
same time.
It's an enigma.
Exactly.
You can think too hard about it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we're doing some good store promotion tonight. All right, co-writing in town. You've been doing it for a while.
For a while, I'm
Hey,
on
what's
and
up, man?
off. I'm an on and off kind of guy with the co-write. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you guys probably feel me on that.
How long have you been doing the Nashville thing, Jason? Like,
It's about 12 years.
including like the co-writes and the shows and
Yeah, it took me a little while. Well, I started co-write when I first moved here, and honestly, just I didn't get it.
did you hate it at first?
I didn't get it. It didn't feel right to me.
It's
'Cause that's
weird.
not- yeah.
It's weird.
I hated it.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was trying to do, and then I realized I went into enough meetings and with so many publishers and labels that they ask you, are you a songwriter or are you an artist? And I always thought that was the weirdest
You
question.
can't be both.
Like, what do you mean I'm both? And
Well,
they're like, yeah.
How do
are
you think
ya?
Nashville defines that, a songwriter and an artist?
Yeah.
I think it means something different outside of Nashville, but what do you think Nashville means by artist versus
Well, I think if you want to
songwriter?
be, I don't mean this in a negative way. I just mean if you want to be the best artist you can be and hone your skills as an artist, a vocalist, as a guitarist,
Don't be a songwriter.
well, get your songs from people that are just trying to be songwriters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
You be an artist and you're gonna do these songs because these are the best songs available. Now, not to say some artists are going to be able to write some of those songs to group into being the best songs available, but it's a business.
Yeah.
And this label's putting all this money in you, and they want you to do songs that they believe in, and they might not be yours. And I think that's when you're an artist. And when you're a songwriter, you're the one providing the songs to give to the person that's going to sing it the best, that's going to represent it the best.
Is his level good?
Do you think that's defining artist and songwriter in more of a Nashville way, though, than because I think
Absolutely.
if you're at home, growing up in BFE listening to rock and roll, an artist would be like David Bowie, Led Zeppelin,
Right.
Metallica, that kind of thing. That's a way different thing than how Nashville. I think Nashville views the artist as like the face of the product.
Is it getting
Yeah.
better though? I
I
hear
mean, there's-
rumblings of more people writing their own songs.
Well, some people are. I don't know if winning is the right term, but let's say if we were to take a Chris Stapleton, it's just undeniable. A guy like that, he's writing the best songs and he's singing them better than anyone else could. So how could he not be doing great?
Right.
You know what I mean? He happens to possess. He's really great at both things. So people like that get to do both things. But I mean, for how long was he doing songs?
He was a writer.
Yeah, I mean, he's written a bunch. I mean, he's got, I think, Dierks Bentley and Luke Bryan, and he's got all these cuts with all these mainstream country artists until when he just finally, raises to the top, and it's like, he was ready. You know what I mean? Which I think he'd been ready forever, but I think you have to have the interest and want to do that too. I mean, I think that's a big responsibility to take on to be an artist. And the way I think about it, just in the most simple form, is like all of a sudden one day you have to decide, you know what, I'm not going to go I can't go buy my own groceries anymore.
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere.
It's true.
Like, I mean, he can, and he does. He's coming here.
Yeah, he's been in here to buy stuff before.
But I like, I don't know. I think they're two very different things.
Yeah.
If you're able to do both in Nashville, then you're doing really good.
Did you grow up a country guy? Did you want to be a country songwriter when you were a kid?
Not really. I mean, like I grew up I was raised with my
Meta.
grandparents. I was raised with my grandparents, and it was all country, man. There was this radio station when I was a kid called WJRD, I think is what it's called. And they just played like 60s and 70s country. And I remember my sister had bought I guess Kiss Destroyer came out in 77.
Awesome.
Word.
So I heard Detroit Rock City, and then it was over. It was no more country for me.
For a while.
And I was going to tell you, that kind of ties into the story. Bob Ezrin is the guy that kind of, you asked the question about artist, songwriter kind of thing. Bob was really honest. I played him some of my songs, and he listened to it and said, man, you're good. I mean, you're talented. He goes, but this record, your friends and your family are going to buy this record. It's like good like that. He's like, you got to be good like.
Where did you meet Bob Ezrin?
At his studio.
Was that in Nashville?
Yeah, he had a place over in Berry Hill.
Oh, that's cool.
So
no idea.
he was honest enough with me. He's like,
Bob Ezrin, who produced The Wall,
yeah,
amongst other things.
yeah. He let me play that bass.
That's cool.
Wow.
I was working on some guitars for him in his studio, and he was talking to me about music, and I gave him, and he listened to it, and he was just real honest. He just he said, you've got to write something and deliver something, and he was very like, you can do this. Someone that doesn't know you, someone that has no idea who you are, what you look like, nothing, is just walking down the street and he hears your song and stops and listens to it. Can you write that? That's what you've got to write, So I thought it was cool. I mean, the guy even listened to my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But it's hard.
Yeah. But you've been writing with other people too. I mean, you've
Well,
been
I've
working
really
with
gotten into that. So I guess what I'll say about that, and then I'll be quiet, is just I've noticed that like when I write with other people, and the more people you add to it, the more generalized that the song gets, and I think it makes it reach more people, and I understand that.
Okay.
It gets you out of your own
see that.
head, and you just don't have to.
I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, it's like if we were sitting here talking, and all I ever did was tell you about how my heart was broken, and and he's like, "Oh, we got to talk to Jason again. He's going to tell us the same old story." You know what I mean? Like,
Jesus.
if we were, people don't want to hear all that. So if the four of us decide we're going to write a song together, we can be a little bit more general and go, "Well, let's don't do that." And it also makes me kind of hold back and not give that much of myself, because I don't want to go, man.
You don't go too personal.
I don't go
with it.
too personal
Yeah.
with you, and then the
I get it.
song doesn't get too personal, and there's a time and place for those songs. I love those songs, by the way.
Same.
I live for sad,
Everything I
depressing,
write
terribly
is
miserable
so
songs.
cringy,
Right.
so angsty teen.
Cheers to that.
So the way for me to get away from that, even if I don't want to, is to co-write. It helps.
I have like one quick little aside question to the songwriting thing, because you're a real amazing guitar player too. So that had to have been
Thanks,
a part of
man.
your early years is doing the guitar stuff.
Yeah.
Do you find being such a great guitar player is a burden to wanting to be a songwriter? Does it get in the way?
So they conflict with each other.
Yes.
Because it's like another box you got to check.
Absolutely.
Because you got part of you that wants to shred, and then another part that wants to write a great
I mean, when I
song.
was younger, I would write songs around a cool guitar riff.
Sure,
That's
it was riff
what, and people
based.
still do that, but I think that's the way you kind of write rock. But
Sure.
I would try to do other things, like tune the guitar to something that I don't know just tune it to something.
Yeah.
Something drawn where you don't really know all the fingerings for it, so you just have to play really simple, and it keeps you honest and gets you kind of more to, like if you just write on a ukulele or a piano. I'm not a very good piano player, but if I just write on piano, I stay real honest with what's in my head instead of letting my muscle memory and everything take me where it wants to take me on guitar. If that makes sense. Like I like writing in Dadgad because it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just, you just got the chords and that's it. I'm just fretting the top 2 strings, and it keeps me from getting too into the guitar riff. Now that being said, I've been doing that for like 5 or 6 years, and now I'm back to the guitar riff. Like now I'm writing songs around guitar riffs again, because I'm writing songs by myself for myself, just for
your record.
For my record, yeah.
Well, that's cool. What about you? Have you had? Do you even do co-writes? Have you written any songs with other people?
Yeah, when I first moved to town, I had a development deal, and then people start kind of reaching out if you have even like the smallest bit of traction. It's kind of surprising. Like usually kind of bottom feeder type.
Sure.
But I did some co-writes on Music Row at some of the publishers and things down there, and I just did not like it.
It's a weird.
It just
deal,
felt
isn't it?
gross.
Yeah,
It's like you're ruining everything. So
You're just killing the music.
yeah, so I have done some co-writes though, but I like it better when I like to have like 75% of the song done, and then with the producer recording it, give him a little room to get some skin in the game.
Yeah,
and
just say, hey,
bring
you
it
need
to
to do
life.
this. It'd be cool if you added that.
Do you have a song that you co-wrote that you love though? Do you have one that like kind of stands out to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably my best songs are probably co-writes.
Mine too, absolutely.
Oh,
Like
that's
the more
interesting.
people, the merrier.
So you guys wouldn't down co-writing in any
Heck
way?
no, it's just a big part of yourself to give away. But it's very smart to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they want everyone to do it.
You have to do it
makes
in
you
Nashville,
better.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you pretty much have to.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Well, if you don't do that, you're gonna have to share the credit with somebody.
I think it challenges you. And another thing too, just from a business standpoint, if all 3 of us are selling the same product, all 4 of us, there's 4 of us,
Yeah.
are selling the same thing,
Hank's 5.
we can reach further. Hank, 5 of us, we can reach further.
Yeah.
So let's say the 5 of us have written a killer song together. Well, I've got these people that I can give it to, and you've got your people, and you've got your people. Maybe your band can cover it. Maybe you can, I mean,
It's
from a
just-
business
yeah,
standpoint,
I
it
get
makes a lot of sense. If we're all just holding on to our one little egg and we're all protecting it and we're all kind of even competing with one another, we're not really helping each other out at all, or ourselves.
That's
From
true.
a business standpoint. Now, not from an emotional or artistic standpoint. That's a whole different thing that makes no sense whatsoever. We don't do things that make sense when it comes to
Of course.
the art.
Yeah, we're all our own worst enemies.
That's why I have like 3 separate piles, man. Songs that I've written that I can do absolutely nothing with, songs that I've written for myself, by myself, and co-writes. The 3 piles.
I think with co-writes, with what you're saying, it's awesome with the business opportunity that goes along with it, because you can network and market to different crowds that way. People you don't know are going to hear your stuff. But then, like, just for like the vibe of being an entertainer and musician or artist, songwriter, whatever, ego is like nobody, especially other musicians, nobody likes ego. And I might be speaking personally. Like, if I write a song and I'm like, this is exactly right, it's exactly what has to be played, and then I bring it to the band and they're like, well, there's this and this, and we could do this, and you change this word, and I think it's humbling, because it's like, okay, maybe the writer didn't have all the answers, and like it's bigger than just that. And I think that plays a part in the music when it's being played live or when you're recording it as well.
When you present, and this is based on my experience, and you guys probably could chime in on this, but like, if you're bringing a song to other musicians, it's gonna it's gonna morph or something. There's even if they don't even try.
If you lay it out here on the table, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Me and you have done it. Remember
Absolutely.
the song that we wrote together,
Yeah.
or two, or whatever. One of them I remember vividly. Like, and I tell this to people that I play with and write with, like, especially play with, and that's a different thing. But like, I like for people to, when I'm collaborating, like, do what you do.
Yeah, just
Like, I don't want to go, hey, Will, wouldn't it be cool if you didn't do that and you did what I want you to do?
Yes.
So you gotta leave
You gotta
that
be
in the car.
open. Yeah, you gotta
can't
be
bring
open
that
to
with
it.
you. You gotta be willing to give away what you're going to give away. You know, that part of you, and you gotta let the other guy enjoy it too. It's not. It's like I tell my 7-year-old,
It's called
like
collaborating.
it's not fun unless everyone's having fun.
Well, you got to learn the ones that you're just going to be too precious about and don't even throw it out.
Don't
there.
even throw it
Don't
out.
even
In
throw those
Nashville,
out
as
there.
soon as you throw it out, it's everyone's.
Yeah, there might be somebody you've never met that's gonna get a credit on it.
I mean, I've rewritten. I brought a song, a 75%er to a co-write before, and get it just completely rewritten, and I'm just going. And nothing against the co-writer, but I think I'm mad at myself. Like, why did I do that? Like, was I trying to eat my ego? Was I trying to get them to just say, "Hey, this is great. You don't need my help"? What was I doing? Why was I bringing that?
Did you
Doesn't
kind
make
of like
sense.
even quietly? Did you kind of reclaim it and then go like record it how you actually wanted
yeah,
it?
I mean, I have wondered, like, if I write a song and then we collaborate on it and I don't like what we did, can I just take it back to the way it was to begin with and it be mine again? And the answer is yes, but it's like, it's funny. I've done it a few times, you know.
Wow. Do you write songs and bring them to the band, and they're just like,
I'll write songs. I bring them to the band, and most of the time the words are more or less set in stone. But
it's just the arrangements.
it's the
and stuff,
arrangements
yeah.
and the jams and the parts and the hardest part about writing it for the band, if you're asking,
Yeah.
is when we do the parts that were the planned, unplanned parts. So when we go into a part, like, all right, so at this point it's, for lack of a better word, type 2.
Yeah.
How long are we doing that for? What's the cue to go back into the progression? Which most of the time is either hitting the main riff again or sometimes just eye contact. But
Yeah.
we have a few songs right now where we feel like we have the structured parts down as far as like the intro, choruses, intro, verse, chorus, simple solo sections. But when it hits the part where it's, all right, we're going to space it out, we'll get lost, and then we'll shelf the song and say it's not done.
Right. And you gotta think. Remember, Will's in a bluegrass band
Well,
too.
and you guys are jamming.
They're
too.
rocking
It's a
out,
bluegrass
yeah.
jam band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That is
It's
awesome.
fun.
It's a lot of fun. That's cool, man.
But would you, if let me just ask you this: like, if you got a hold to a producer, someone got a hold of you guys and said, "Look, you know, you guys are a bluegrass jam band, and when you go out and you play and you do this tour, you can play songs as long as you want to. But I want to put a song on the radio and I want it to be 3 minutes." How do you feel about that?
I'm down with that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's good. You're smart.
Absolutely. We have a song now that a guy wrote for us in Mobile, our banjo player's brother, and we're having this, I don't know if it's a conflict, but we're having a conversation about it where it's like a 3.5 minute song. It's like a radio song, and it's called Winds of Change, and the hook is Sweet Home Alabama, I Really Hate to Go. It's a really catchy song. Just 1, 4, 5 are the only chords in it, and G. And I am completely on the side if, like, this dude wrote this song for us. It's a hit. I think it's a hit. I don't know. The band is kind of, I don't know. We're not really sure what we're going to do with it yet, but I'm very much on the side of radio-friendly songs.
That's good.
yeah.
Pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
Sometimes they're just good songs.
Anchor
Can be
deals.
short.
Yeah, totally, man.
Absolutely.
That leads me into this topic we were talking about earlier today. You know what I'm talking about? The guilty pleasure.
Oh, guilty. Yeah. Yeah.
Did I talk about this with you, Hank?
Now, is that wrapped in? Is it guilty pleasure?
Well, I was gonna try to
and-
segue from like co-writing, like writing songs with other people, like you might not. You know,
Can I say this to start it? Like and this isn't a crappy song, but like my favorite song, like when it comes on, is like I Can See Clearly Now the Rain Is Gone. Johnny Nash. It's a kind of a cheesy song. It's a
Yeah,
Muscle
that's a
Shoals
good-
song.
that's a great song.
1970s. It's a killer song, but I love that song. Like,
But what I was getting at was like we were talking about co-writing and you know how we were, so you bring songs to a group of people or whatever, and I guess the songs become these generalized radio friendly songs. And like me personally, I don't really care about that, but there are some songs like that I do love, and there's
Like what? What's the name?
I'm trying to think of one. A song. I was gonna say an artist.
Creed.
No, Jesus.
3 Doors Down.
A song that like everybody this is a song that
Like an earworm song?
earworm song. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Uptown Funk. Who cannot like Uptown
But
Funk?
it's sick. I mean, that whole riff is sick. It's so good. Like,
I don't know that song.
you know, Bruno
actually
Mars.
don't
I
like
probably
that song.
do know, and I just didn't
You
know
know
that was the
Bruno
song.
Mars.
Okay, yeah. I know Bruno Mars.
And then that there's a couple of Timberlake songs that are like that too. But I don't put those songs down. Those are great songs. I mean, like I wouldn't be embarrassed to say I like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be.
I would.
Jason told me his favorite songwriter was George Michael.
I love George Michael. I love George Michael, man.
He was good. I mean, you talking about writing catchy songs and sexy songs.
He can sing too, man.
He's a great singer. He's a cool dude too. I guess.
Well,
I
he's
have
not,
no basis for that.
He's not alive anymore.
I know that.
So next person. I've
But I
given
still
two-
gotta think of my song.
I should
my
have co-wrote
guilty
my
pleasure
answer because I
song.
got a little too deep right there.
The Space Cowboy by Steve Miller.
It's called The Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a guilty pleasure? I guess I need to be more current.
That's
on
a
it.
very like.
I think these are more.
Were
good,
you in a fraternity
These are
in
good
college?
taste songs.
It's a very
that
fraternity
to be a good
type
pleasure.
song.
What Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
could we just
stupid.
name all
That's
the
a
ones
classic
that we
rock
played
hit.
at, like on the strip?
I'm
at
trying
Alabama?
to think of a more current song though. A guilty
Oh.
pleasure current song.
Man, I don't.
There's been I've heard some tunes from some of the student bands, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like that, but I couldn't tell you the name of it.
Like Old Town Road.
No, I do know that. I don't like that song.
Okay. That's the only new song I know, and it's like a year old now.
Does it have to be current, or is there any?
Well, see, just the other day on the podcast, remember we went down the top 10.
Yeah.
I didn't know one of
Like,
the tunes.
What would you be embarrassed if one of us walked in the store?
That's what I was
if
getting
you
to.
were in here like rocking out one morning.
Doing my pelvic thrust to
Yeah.
the beat of some certain song. I don't know. That's a great question.
Who are some? Not to
No. You talk. I'm still thinking.
Who are some of those bands on the top 10?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I don't know if I
Spotify.
know any of those.
Pull up Spotify top 10.
This was the global top 50.
See, global might muff some stuff up though.
That could be. Yeah, that could make it.
Because international, man, Latin America.
But these would be
And
the
the
biggest
Asian-
songs in the world right now. All right.
Just don't know if we. Go ahead. Anyway,
China would win that, right?
Do you want
Chinese
song
artists?
titles or artists?
do the artist.
Because
Yeah.
I would never know any of the titles.
I don't even know the titles to Jason's songs.
The number one artist in the world right now, Tones and I.
No idea.
No clue.
Maroon 5, number 2.
No, then.
Maroon 5?
That's a guilty pleasure song for me. I like some of their songs.
Yeah, I like
Songs About
that.
Jane
Yeah.
is fire
Who?
all over. Songs About Jane.
Yeah, their
That
debut
whole album.
Yeah.
is good.
Okay.
Selena Gomez,
Wow.
Post Malone. I like Post Malone quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
It's okay.
Shawn Mendes and Camilla Cabello.
I've heard of all those people.
I haven't heard of
Except for
that.
that first one, Tone and I, or whatever.
Dua Lipa. Heard of her.
No.
Arizona Zervis.
Sounds like a rental car company.
Louis Capaldi.
It does.
Louis Capaldi. Never heard
Never
of him.
heard of him.
Travis Scott. Heard of that. Black Eyed Peas. Yeah.
God,
Black
that's-
Bear. Never heard of.
They're pretty cool.
That's a cool name. I like that.
Is
name.
that hip hop?
I think
Black
it's I think
Bear.
it's kind of some like indie rock hip hop thing.
Regard.
Don't quote me on that.
But yeah, that's the top 10.
Well, that's not too terrible. I guess it was different last week. I mean,
Now, deeper into it, you've probably never heard of anyone.
right.
But
I don't know if I could tell you one Selena Gomez song.
It's funny. I was thinking about that earlier today. Like, we know who she is.
Yeah.
And we know who a bunch of people are that are artists, but I couldn't tell you one song.
But when I hear that, it just speaks to me to the demographic that's streaming music. It's all kids.
Well, I think it's reversed too. Like people used to be
Absolutely.
famous because they were good, and now people become
Famous for
famous
famous.
because they're real good at marketing. And not saying none of them, they all deserve it. I mean, we obviously know how hard it is to be on that top 50 list, but there's more to it than just the tunes.
The tunes. Who's your guilty pleasure, Will?
And Katy Perry put out an album.
She's got some
when I was
catchy
in high
songs.
school. It had like Teenage Dream and California Girls.
That's pretty catchy
Man,
stuff.
I love all that.
If
That's
she looked
awesome.
like Steve Urkel, would you still love it?
If she looked like Steve Urkel,
Yeah.
man, she can wear whatever she wants.
Wow. Looks like somebody shot her in the back with 2 missiles. That's why I like her. No, I'm joking. That's a good one though. She has my buddy Rennie says that. He's like, man, she's a great songwriter. I didn't know
If she's writing that stuff, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, they're catchy. Earworms. That's a good word.
Little
Those little
earworms.
catchy songs that
It
get
kind
in
of
your-
freaks me out though when I think about it. It makes me
Earworms.
twitch.
What about
Dax?
you, Dax?
If I were gonna, I think Will probably had the best pick for a true
Katy
guilty
Perry.
pleasure. So in that
It's
line,
hard not to like that.
I would
music.
go with like Miley Cyrus.
I
as
was
someone
just thinking
comparable.
Miley
She has a lot of
Cyrus.
great songs.
Uh-huh.
That
Well,
might
she's
be-
a super talented person for sure.
She's a rock star.
Yeah, I mean, she could do it all, man. Wow.
Yeah.
What about her dad?
What about
If this podcast was 25 years ago, he would be the guilty pleasure.
That's true. Achy breaky heart.
Oh
Wow.
Lord.
He's
I'll
doing
never forget that summer that song was popping. I was working in Yellowstone National Park.
What
Yeah.
year was it?
92.
92.
I know, I'm old.
That song made me feel weird then.
Now,
It
I
makes me
was
feel
working out
weird
in the
now.
park, and there was no TV in the park and no radio. Nothing. And so, it's a bunch of college kids, working in the park, and we would get the USA Today, and we would look on the back of it to have like the top 10 songs. Like, who is this Billy Ray Cyrus guy? Which was weird because it was a country guy, and it was all like pop songs. And lo and behold, when I got out of the park, I saw what was up. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. What is the world coming to?
There's a lot of stories about him being a dancer and all that stuff. He was a Chippendales dancer, and
He's a good-looking man.
And that music video for Old Town Road is something else.
I have not seen it.
It's something else.
Hadn't seen that one. All right, here's another question I had. All right, I want to start with you, Jason. Super successful artist or band that you just do not understand. You don't get it. I mean, I'm talking like mega,
Like
iconic,
legendary.
legendary artist or band that you're just like, I just don't get it.
I don't. I mean, I've got one. If I'm in a safe place, y'all don't be mad at me.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Rush.
Oh,
I can't do it.
heart just exploded.
I can't do it,
Really?
man. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
What about it? Do you know?
Everything.
Wow.
Shocked at that answer, Jason Herndon.
That's a good
You
one.
play that riff all the time.
I know it's just it's when you hate something, you need to face it just dead
you just
on.
confront
Head
your.
on.
Yeah, I got you, man. Wow, that was a
I
great
mean, I don't want to
answer.
rip
Woo!
Rush apart because they're incredibly talented, but there's things that I listen to and I can't. Like, if that guy was my drummer, I would be like, dude, go away. Get out of here. I mean, I remember when I was like in my 20s, like I was auditioning bass players for my band and the guy walked in with a pedal board and I was like, nah. Bass players don't use pedal boards, which now I understand that they do. And I was a jerk, but I still couldn't ever find a soft place in my heart for Rush. Too much drums, too much
What about-
math.
You don't like Geddy Lee's
I did not like the
voice?
bass tone. His bass tone was terrible, only second to his voice. I'm sorry. Is he talented? Incredibly. Could I ever do any of that? No. Do I want to do any of that?
Man, I am
No.
shocked at that answer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you saying you don't like his bass tone?
I don't. I don't care for it.
Okay.
It's all so busy. I like
That's
his
a great
bass.
answer.
That Fender Geddy Lee signature jazz bass is one of my favorite basses of all time.
I have
As
that
long
bass.
as he's not playing.
Do you like Alex Lifeson as a guitar player?
Not
Great
really.
guitar
Not
player.
really.
Wow.
Oh, you're
That was
killing me,
surprising.
dude.
No.
I
was a
don't
good
think
answer.
my answer is going to garner that reaction from this crew.
I'm
though.
sorry. I
But
mean,
that's
I,
a wow.
I've always felt that
Wow.
way. I kind of feel bad for it, but It just doesn't move me. I don't get it. And it's not because I don't get music, because I do. I get what they're doing. But I'm really blown away that they even played that crap on the radio, honestly.
Wow.
I don't get it. Like, it's just not...
Like Limelight?
I just don't get how it got to where it is. Like, I guess I'm kind of saying this wrong. Like, they're incredible, but I don't like them.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I think they should be commended for the stuff that they're doing and to go as far as they did and to be like on the radio. I mean, there's nothing else like that on the radio. So in that respect, they're incredibly amazing, but it doesn't move me at all. I don't get it. Now I'm going to shut up.
You've stunned us, Jason Herndon. Wow. All right, Dax, you're up, bro.
Oh, you good? I'll have to think about this for a minute.
Will, do you have one?
I got one.
Oh, I love it. Love it. I love this question.
It's Green Sky Bluegrass.
Wow.
They have never. I can't think of one time I've heard Green Sky play.
That's deep because all my friends that are into bluegrass like worship.
So if you ever had a chance of going on tour with that band, that's over now.
Yeah, now it's over. I know, but I mean, like they all rip and they all like know bluegrass and they're doing the jam grass thing, like probably to the biggest extent that anybody is right now with Billy.
They're selling out Red Rocks for like 3 nights in a
Yeah,
row.
with,
And
like
they're
Billy
big right now.
Billy
Huge.
Strings was right behind it, but I totally think Billy Strings is going to surpass them as far as
He's pretty amazing.
the height. But I don't know. I feel like they're always holding back a little bit, and like all the other, I feel like the other bluegrass bands, like even down to like the Kitchen Dwellers, they all just like are pushing it as hard as they can go. And I'm biased on the mandolin, but I just don't think he rips on the mandolin.
So you're saying you can take him?
I bet he knows a lot more than I know, but if I were him, there'd be parts where I wouldn't just be going like picking notes out of a chord to set with a bunch of reverb and ambiance. I would be like, let's take this somewhere, let's go. Even if it sounded like crap, I would go for it. And I don't think they do that.
Wow.
I didn't like Rush. Rush goes for it.
That's kind of that's kind of the same. That's interesting. 2 different genres, and they both don't like them for the kind of the same reason.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think the Rush thing is those guys are so smart, and I'm not ripping on them. Like they're brilliant at what they do, but it lacks emotion to me. It doesn't move me.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems real technical.
Yeah, it's too technical.
It's execution above soul.
Like Toto's really technical, but they have great songs, and they make you feel something. You know what I mean?
Have you ever heard of Caninus?
Mm-mm.
You ever heard of Caninus?
I haven't.
You ever heard of
Sounds like a terrible.
They're a death
disease.
metal band, and their lead singer's a dog. You heard of them, mate?
K9.
Caninus. Caninus. It's ridiculous. I don't know what made me think of that, but wow, I'm shocked at your answer.
Who's your band,
But that's
Chris?
It's not a band; it's an artist. You ready? Have you got yours?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay. You want me to do mine?
Please.
Drum roll, Hank. You got some timpani? There you go. Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Audible gasp. I know. I hear it. Yeah. I just never got it. I don't get his appeal. I don't get the dancing. I don't get any of it. I mean, from a very young age, because I was a kid when Thriller came out, or I was a kid when all of it came out, really. But like, I never got it. I always thought it sounded like a little kid or a little girl. I don't know. I did not get the mass appeal.
I'm speechless.
I know.
I'm fairly indifferent to Michael Jackson.
I mean, I just never got it.
You know, if
and
you
it
would
got
have,
worse the older he got and the more songs he released, it was just like, how? I mean, wow.
if you would have said this before all the allegations towards him,
I did say it before then.
I would respond, but I can't. I'm not siding with Michael Jackson today.
I used to say it all the
I
time.
worshipped him. I mean, I thought it was the greatest.
I know. Everybody did.
I mean, what about the band? Like, let's say if you take him out of it in the band. I mean, the band on Off the Wall is the sickest band.
Yeah.
Like the
And
people
I like
playing
the
on that
band
stuff,
on
it was
the
so
Thriller
good.
band is all great guys too.
Yeah.
Steve Lukather. Who else is on that one?
Oh, Eddie's on it. Eddie does a solo.
Yeah, it's got great.
But I
It's
see what
him.
I can kind of.
It doesn't even matter what the music
It used to
was.
bug me how much they, especially later on, they started burying his vocal in the mix, and that would drive me a little bit nuts too. But he's ran the gauntlet on. I mean, he's like the. This is a funny comparison, but he does the Ozzy thing. You know what I mean? Like Michael Jackson always has a badass guitar player, and I think that's what kept me interested.
I want the best guitar player.
Because he had Jennifer Batten and Steve
he's
Stevens
always had
and
didn't Slash
Slash
play with
did
him? Yeah,
one,
I mean
Eddie Van Halen, like Lukather.
I feel like that's just because he's just the celebrity Michael Jackson.
Yeah, because I mean, we could hire those guys to play on our record if we had the money.
If I was a
If we were
billionaire,
Quincy
I could have Neil Peart on drums.
Not on my record.
Not on Jason's record. It didn't sound good to me. That's
Do you
what I'm
think
saying.
Neil Peart could play an AC/DC song?
I don't know.
I doubt
it.
What's the Michael Jackson? I'm blanking on the name. Annie, are you okay?
Yeah.
What's that song called?
Smooth
Criminal.
Criminal.
The guitar tone in that song is iconic.
Maybe I was sour to him early and just don't know why. The voice, all the hee all that stuff. Like, I'm a huge James Brown fan. Like, I love James Brown's probably my top 5 of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he was a soul man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he could dance. He could just
Well,
do
now
it.
you're making me question my entire childhood because I'm like, well, how the hell did I like Michael
'Cause
Jackson
I
so
don't-
much?
I
How
don't-
could I like you so much,
Yeah.
and you hate Michael Jackson, and I love Michael Jackson, and I'm doubting like the person that I am. I think something's wrong with me.
Do you guys
Thanks,
think he
Chris.
did it?
What's
Do
that?
you think Michael Jackson did the
It's like Samuel L.
allegations?
Jackson in A Time to Kill. You damn right I did, and I'll do it again.
Did y'all watch the documentary?
I haven't.
I haven't seen it.
I
Have
haven't
you
seen it. I have
I
not. seen
don't
it.
know. I
I've watched
mean-
Dave Chappelle talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think any level-headed person can just look at everything that went on and said this guy. I mean, he obviously was not a normal guy. He didn't have a normal upbringing and all that. But I'm just talking about the music.
I didn't
Just the
mean to
music.
Shanghai it.
No.
I'm
Just
curious.
the music. I mean, the thing is, like,
That's the
it's
beauty.
got to
and
be
that's your
somebody
right.
super successful.
Well,
Like,
he's the
he's
king of
the
pop.
King of pop.
You hate the
The
king of pop.
self-anointed king of pop, by the way. He came up with that.
Hey man.
Jerk. But I just didn't get the dancing around on stage and grabbing the crotch. It just was like silly. It just seems like silliness.
I feel you. I mean, I'm kind of agreeing with
And,
you.
like,
Like
he
you're making me hate him.
He kind of every pop star has to have dancers now because of him. I mean, it's just like,
But when you saw that Billie
Ugh.
Jean video and you saw his footstep and the light lit up, and I mean that blew my mind.
Some of the moves are awesome.
I wanted to take
When
my
he
pants off
moonwalked in
and
'82,
be on the TV.
And the lean.
and the
Trickery. I just did not get it. I don't know why. Thriller. You could not get away from Thriller in '84.
What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Probably Man in the Mirror or something. I
That's
don't
a good
know.
one, yeah.
No, or wait a second. Let me think about that. Or the early, or that off the wall stuff, the disco-y stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Rock With You.
Yeah, maybe that. But yeah, I just didn't get it, man. And
I
I
feel you.
want to get it. You know, it's like one of those things. What it turned me off to. But I can tell you, not liking him at an early age. Yeah, I had an older brother growing up, and he was into like Van Halen, ZZ Top.
And he was probably cutting on Michael.
Oh, he
too,
was
going,
cutting
oh,
on
you
Mike-
can't listen to that.
Right, he
That's
probably
terrible.
influenced it. And then the older I got, the more crazy crap came out about Michael Jackson. I was like, yeah, see, I told you. And then it was like, I don't know, it just kept growing. And then I'm like, yeah, see, you people were duped. This guy's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Then I watched the Grammys when you remember the Grammys where he took the monkey and Brooke Shields like.
And he started getting his
What?
skin started changing colors. He started getting real
Oh,
white. Like
yeah,
he started.
I know. I said I wouldn't get off into that stuff. It was just about the music, but I don't know. That
Well, he
just-
definitely had some issues.
the whole package.
Yeah, he had some
I hated the
issues.
music early on. I just hated it. I hated it. Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with like my brother and just like my neighborhood. We all just thought it was, I don't know, not macho.
Well, that's
you
a
know.
pretty. I mean, if he was doing those things that he was accused of, it's a pretty big, heavy burden to carry around. So
I don't think they'll ever trump his. He was so big. He was just. It's like one of those things. Yeah, so many people love him. I don't think it'll ever. I don't know if it'll ever tarnish him completely.
right, yeah,
Like
probably
Bill
not.
Cosby, he's gonna be tarnished. But I think Michael Jackson was a global. He was like Elvis level, Beatles
He'd
level.
walk in a room and people would pass
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
because he was
he
100 feet away from
He
him.
had something going on that was bigger than life, you know, obviously, and there's a lot of appeal there. But I don't know. That's my. There's a lot of other people like for the. Oh, this is a better question. Go ahead. No, you got to do yours. But before we do yours, like, there's all these other ones that I hated and now like, and then there's ones I liked and I now hate.
Who'd you hate but now like?
Billy Joel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Billy Joel, I can't. And when I was growing up, I loved Elton John. I hate Elton John now for some reason. I don't know why.
He's kind of become like Elton. Like
Silly.
the Elton
It's
John I love is the Elton John that was on the Muppets. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. He just seems silly to me.
Well, he's just kind of almost a character of
and it's
himself.
not even the Billy Joel. It was like some of it's okay. I like a lot of the Billy Joel that none like hardcore Billy Joel people don't like. Like I like the stuff where he played guitar. Didn't he have a couple songs in the '80s where he played the guitar?
Maybe so. Did you like We Didn't Start the Fire? Did you like that song?
No, I don't think so.
I like his older stuff for sure.
But I like that the one Matter of Trust. We will see you that one.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
a
that
good
one.
one.
But yeah, we'll get into that later. Dax, I'm dying to know what's your guilty
This is
or not guilty pleasure, but your super successful, but can't stand them.
If we're sticking with like that world class
Yes,
echelon.
Yeah, go ahead or whatever. Just your personal choice. We've had a bluegrass, we've had prog
Or
rock.
whatever you call that crap.
Mine was pop, but yeah, go for it. Whatever.
I would say U2 for like my big one,
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
and then like Black Veil Bride / Andy Biersack for my small one. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, you gotta elaborate on the U2 thing.
The U2 thing, that's one of those ones I loved when I was like a teenager. I can't listen to 2 seconds of a U2 song now.
I kind of get their hits, but anything that's not their hits sounds like the most
It's very
generic
dramatic.
indie garage band rock.
Very.
Like it's just so throwaway.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 hits, and then the rest is all album filler.
I
to
feel
me.
like you got to give Bono like most improved over time. Like, and I don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
mean like you listen to old stuff and it's like, he's terrible.
Yeah.
And then
They
you
were
listen to it as
all-
it went on 10 years later. It's like I can listen to him. now.
Probably the
he learned
best-
how to sing.
The best guy in their band was their drummer, probably forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their bass, Adam Clayton. They
Yeah,
were
it
going to
was
come out with
neat.
an Adam Clayton signature model that had 1 string on it.
Yeah.
I mean, he never plays anything. Like
Right.
Just the E string up and down the finger.
Like, to become a stadium selling like one
They're a
of the
global,
biggest
huge,
gigantic
probably one
global
of the biggest
act
bands
of all
in the world.
time.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
they're
Yeah.
okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
My dad was super into U2 growing up. He always tried to get me into them, and like and so like your next thing you're gonna ask was like the
ones you hated, but now like.
ones you hated. So I had to like put on U2. You got to change it. Like I don't like U2. And that's what I would say. And then they did Bonnaroo not too long ago, and I was like fully prepared to go to some
Other
late night
thing.
DJ set or something that was going on, not during that set. But I went to the U2 set, and they blew me away.
Really?
Their live set
Wow.
is freaking awesome. It
That's a good
sounds
story.
amazing. They do everything right. They have this gigantic. When they're not doing it, their set in the middle of the arena. They're doing a festival set. So I think when they tour now, they set up a stage like Metallica does. But they had the entire wall. If you've seen that Bonnaroo stage, the entire back of it was a gigantic screen. It was like, from where I was standing, it looked like high def. So they were playing amazing. The stage looked awesome. It was an awesome show.
Wow.
Now they get a thumbs up.
Did the
Nice.
songs make sense in that setting?
They played Joshua Tree, so it was a lot of hits.
Hey, Hank, do you have one?
Yeah. I don't think Metallica. I agree with you two, 100%.
If you say Metallica, I'm jumping off the stage.
I'm gonna say Metallica.
Oh.
I just
Really?
I used to
Exit
run.
Light?
I used to run to some of their
Internight?
music in like middle school, and it was cool, and it was fine, but it didn't age with me. It never stuck with me. I didn't really get it. I like Megadeth. The first time I heard Megadeth, I was like, "This is badass."
That
and
kind of
awesome.
happens, I think. You pick one. It's like the Beatles or the Stones. You
Yeah.
kind of pick one. So you're more of a Megadeth kind of
Megadeth
guy.
was dope. Metallica, it just
Hey, this
I don't know what it
Lars.
Lars.
You should
Lars
not have
didn't
said
cut it
that,
for
Hank.
me.
I'm not going to post this on YouTube.
Give me your money.
Give me your money.
That's my song. But yeah, I just it never. I guess in metal, I want fast and loud, and riffage is cool, but I don't know what it is about Metallica.
get
It just
it.
didn't resonate with me.
I get it.
Didn't work.
Who's your favorite punk rock band right now?
Oh God.
I love to talk to Hank about punk rock.
I think I like the Dead Kennedys a lot right
They're
now.
still good, yeah.
G.G. Allen and the Murder Junkies.
Sure.
That's
Well,
a whole other episode.
I think we got about an hour, so we'll just cut. That's a good place to stop, I think. What about you? You think so, Hank?
Yeah.
You guys cool?
Yeah.
That's good. I like talking about. I could talk about that stuff forever, all day, all
Absolutely.
night. This made me think of a million other questions I wanted to ask too.
Oh yeah.
Whose answer was the most shocking though on the?
Jason.
I think
Rush.
Jason's was
What
for
the
sure.
fuck?
I've always felt that way.
Yeah, I would literally, my breath went, Rush. And I see you play that lick all the time. So I'm like,
It's just. I think it's just therapy. It's therapy.
I like the flip of that. Living in Nashville, I like the flip of that question even more. All the artists and friends and bands that should have made it but didn't.
Yeah.
artists and friends who should have made it, like big, like
It just, within a week of moving here, that's one of the big
Uh-huh.
problems with moving here is you're immediately like, you're just blown away by the level of talent of
Yeah.
people that no one's ever heard of playing to like no one at the Rutledge on a Tuesday night. Like you see that every night when you first
Well,
move here in the early
I hear
days.
story after story about how, and I'm not going to name names, but how people moved here to do one thing and ended up doing another.
sure,
Like the top session guy, a guitar player, he moved here to be an artist.
yeah,
And now he's just a guitar player that plays on all the artist stuff. you
Yeah.
know? Or a guy that moved here to be a guitar player, and all you gotta do is go out one night and realize where you're at on that.
Boy,
And
I
then
mean, there's
I mean,
been
for
years of humbling. All you got, like you said, all you got to do is go out one night if you're a guitar player and think you're a badass.
Right.
You could.
It took about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and then you're going.
You're just in the wrong town.
Wow.
That's just
This
there's
is-
all there is to
I mean,
I
it's not-
might
it's
be
a-
a songwriter.
It's kind
I
of.
think I'm gonna go the songwriting route.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think that happens, and I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it probably happens. It'd be kind of interesting to see if we had some kind of machine where people didn't ever feel that way, and
Yeah.
because a lot of people that I'd love to hear some of the people that gave up, that because they heard that and they're like, oh, I don't.
Well, how about
I,
people
I
that
don't need to
moved
be
away?
doing that.
Of like,
Well, see, that's the process of weeding out. So
Right.
if you're not resilient through that, you weren't going to be good at making it anyway.
Yeah, it's a whole fear of failure thing. I mean, like, look at the guitar players for these bands we're talking about. And I don't want to rip on Kurt Hammock or,
Hank
No,
does.
I mean, but Kurt, to me, he's not a very good guitar player. I'm sorry.
He said it.
There
I
we
said it.
go. I'm not
Alex
alone.
Lightson, he is. He's an incredible guitar player. It just doesn't move me. But in Lars, he's a terrible drummer. He's terrible.
Hi, this is Lars.
But no offense to
what are
him.
you saying?
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, then you go and you went into this place and you said, well, hell, I can't be a guitar player. This guy's better than me. Well, that's where you mess up because apparently it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Clayton, bass player for you too.
The talent has nothing to do with it.
Don't want to wait till you know me better.
Yeah.
mm.
All right. This was fun, guys.
I've made no friends.
We
so
need to do a
I-
part 2.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
are you gonna come back and do it
Yeah.
again? Promise?
Yeah, I'll keep us here all night talking about that stuff.
I want to do more of a music business thing about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll do some of that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like
Are you traveling? You're about to travel.
yeah, but I mean, I'll be back.
All right.
I'll be back Saturday.
Will's
and
got to
then-
go. So
See
thanks,
you,
Will.
I'll be back Saturday, and I'm off until December 4th,
Okay.
and then I'm off until February.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll do it again. This was fun. And once we get this down, we're going to hopefully have it set up where we can do them maybe twice a week.
It'd be cool if we started an Instagram or Facebook page and let people send us the questions.
Absolutely. We're going to do all that. Yeah. We're going
What
to
do
do
you
that.
want us to talk about?
All right.
you know?
We're out. World Music
Peace.
Nashville live room. Come by, check it out. We got some great deals on some good new guitars. We got a great selection right now. Probably the best selection we've had since I've been here. Check out the website, worldmusicnashville.com. All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
That was fun.
That was a good one.
That time flew by. Like I didn't